Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. All right, so I'm gonna tell you guys how I fixed my my car with a really rough idle. It was so rough that it started shaking and it kept on shaking, and this is a common issue with cars of this age from Mercedes that have higher mileage. All right, so this is a 2006 Mercedes CLK 320. All right, but it's not just for this car, it's any car made by Mercedes around this period of time. You guys could probably solve this issue if you guys have this rough idle and shaking issue. And this is just a recent thing. Had no issues with it previously, and I just bought this car, you know, probably like 1.5 years ago. Really haven't had too many issues besides changing up the battery maybe like 6 months ago, because the battery was pretty old, needed to be changed, but it had nothing to do with that. So basically, at a stoplight, it started happening. All right, it didn't have any issues all day. I was driving it all day, went shopping, went to the park, got something to eat at Wendy's, no problem. All right, so later in the day, I was driving, got to a stoplight, and it would just, you know, the idle started being really rough, and it got to the point where, you know, the car was just shaking. And this is what it sounded like, because I actually recorded this, and this whole issue of the rough idle and shaking was inadvertent, but the more it was driven, the more it was more obvious. But if you guys can listen to what it sounds like, it sounds like the engine wasn't very smooth. So basically, that's what it sounds like. So I was trying to figure out exactly what it was. It could be a bunch of things. Could be a misfire, could be a couple of sensors, that would be causing it. Mass airflow sensor, maybe the throttle body needed to be clean, etc. Just went through all the things that could actually cause this. So basically, with this situation, I was kind of worried about it, and once it started doing that, I did see a check engine light on the dash. All right, diagnosed it myself with an OBD2 reader. If you guys want to get a good reader, got one out on the links. Check it out. So the code that came up, and I don't know if you guys will get this code with this situation, but the code that came up was a P0400 code. All right, and that code could be for a bunch of things. It could be for a faulty EGR valve, a clogged EGR valve, vacuum line issues, faulty EGR sensor issues with the EGR control circuit, such as damaged wires or poor connections. All right, you guys may or may not get this code if you guys have rough idling, or you guys have just really rough idling to the point where your car is shaking and it starts up out of nowhere. Definitely, if you guys are in that situation, what you guys want to do is you guys want to check out the check engine light. If the check engine light comes up, definitely want to read the code for that. It could be a whole bunch of issues, but it's very, very, very easy and simple to diagnose if you guys have a check engine light and you guys get a specific code for that. If you guys get this code, sometimes you guys will, sometimes you guys won't. But if you don't get the check engine light or a code for this particular problem, I'm going to tell you guys how you guys would diagnose that is the EGR valve. All right. It's not a hard thing to change out yourself. It's not a hard thing to change out yourself if you guys need to change it out. But I'm going to show you a picture of what that looks like. That's what it looks like. All right. That's what it looks like. So if you guys get into this situation, what you guys want to do is just, forget about cleaning it. What you guys want to do is you guys want to change the EGR valve and the gasket for the EGR valve. You guys might want to clean around the opening, just get rid of all the oil, maybe oil residue, guys, or whatever corrosion is in there, or build up from the oil and the soot and all that stuff. All right. So basically, after that was changed, after the EGR valve was changed with the gasket to the EGR valve, the engine it sounds great. It sounds perfect. It sounds like there's no issues. Haven't had any issues with stalling. Haven't had any issues with any kind of shaking. So I'm gonna show you the engine just normal sounding versus what it sounded like before. With this video, it sounds great. Just listen to it. So that's what your engine's supposed to sound like. So I'm gonna tell you guys how to diagnose this problem, all right? Particularly if you guys did not get a check engine light with the code, all right? This issue happens pretty much when the car is idling. Pretty much when it's idling, regardless of whether it's idling at a stoplight or once you turn it on. But here's how you know that this is the issue with the EGR valve, because once you put any kind of once the car starts going, once you put your foot on an accelerator, it doesn't really matter how fast it's going. Maybe it's 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour. The situation just pretty much disappears. That problem disappears until you get to a stop and then the car starts idling again. That's when that situation that's when that issue shows up again, and then when you start driving it, that issue goes away. So here's another trick to it. If you guys don't get a check engine light, most of the time you guys will, but if you guys want to diagnose this issue without check engine light, with no check engine light, with no code, what you guys can do is also, on top of that first diagnosis, what you guys might want to do is just at idle, you guys want to turn the AC up all the way. For whatever reason, once you turn it up all the way, you're not gonna, that issue kind of goes away, all right? Or it's not as bad, or even within the vicinity as close to the rough idle that you would get. So definitely check that out. So those are the two things that you're gonna look for if you guys want to diagnose the symptoms for this issue, particularly when you guys do not have the code for this issue, or a check engine light where you guys could easily plug in OBD2 reader scanner and check to see whether that's what's causing your rough idling car, Mercedes-Benz rough idling car shaking issue or not. All right. Do you guys have any of your own personal experiences with this? And you know, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. It might help somebody else out. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Hope this has helped you guys out in this situation. The fix for this situation for you guys is as easy as, you know, the diagnosis and fix that was for this car. Anyway, guys, take care.